Scotland. When you hear this name, most people think about bagpipes, kilts, the Loch Ness Monster, or Scottish whiskey. But this beautiful country has so much more to offer. It has a really rich history. It has been a scientific hub. It has been a cultural hub with lots of famous writers being born here. So today I just wanted to pay a little tribute to Scotland and tell you what I really loved about it when I was living in Edinburgh. Hi, my name is Nora and I'm an immigrant from Hungary. Currently I live in Belgium, but I did live in Scotland for a year and I also lived in London in 2019. I personally really loved my time in Scotland. It helped with my English a lot. It got me to a fluent level. It was a really healthy time in my life with a lot of nature, a lot of walking. I feel like I opened up a lot more there socially. I started talking to a lot more people than I used to back in Hungary, where I used to be really reserved. And I will let you know why this happened, or why I think this happened there in Scotland. So first of all, as I said, Scotland is a beautiful country. Edinburgh is a beautiful city. And first of all, I think this is because of its nature. So Scotland is really rich in forests, mountains. It's a really stunning country. The seashores are absolutely stunning. You can see a lot of wildlife everywhere. In the northern part of Scotland, you will find the Highlands, you will find Inverness, you will find the lochs, which are the lakes, one of them the famous Loch Ness. Edinburgh itself is also really nice. I think it's one of the greenest cities I've ever lived in. There's literally a park with a volcanic hill inside the city. Okay, it's not in the city center, but it really is close to everything and you can go hiking there. It's super beautiful. But the entire city has so much green. There are so many trees. There are so many plants, vegetation everywhere. It's really wonderful. So this volcanic hill I was talking to you about, it's called Arthur's Seat. It's really an extinct volcano and you can find it in Holyrood Park in Edinburgh. So if you are going there for a visit, please make sure to check it out because it's really stunning and the view from the top is really awesome. And then you also have the meadows, which are kind of like these grassy areas near the campus of the University of Edinburgh. And whenever you go there, you can see a lot of people just chilling, playing football, playing rugby or whatever, studying, having a picnic. So it's super nice. And Scotland is also really beautiful because of its architecture and history. So there you will find medieval castles in a lot of cities, in a lot of towns. Edinburgh itself has in the center the Old Town, which is full of medieval buildings, and the New Town, which is full of neoclassical buildings. And both of them are actually part of the UNESCO World Heritage. And in the very middle of Edinburgh, you will find the Edinburgh Castle on a hill, which is also super nice. You should definitely check it out. Right next to that there will be Calton Hill, which is also something really stunning. So there's just so much to see. Everything is so beautiful. There are so many beautiful buildings. I also really loved the cultural scene of Edinburgh and the social scene. So just to talk about culture, going back to history, famous writers like Robert Louis Stevenson or Sir Arthur Conan Doyle were studying here, were writing their books here. Philosopher David Hume was based here, and maybe some of you know that J.K. Rowling wrote the first Harry Potter novel here in Edinburgh. But there are really an abundance of cultural institutions. There are many things to do. There is the most famous one, the Fringe Festival in the summer, that attracts lots and lots of people from all around the world. There are great museums, for example, the Scottish National Gallery, which you can enter for free, and it has paintings from artists like Rubens, Cézanne or Paul Gauguin. And of course, there are lots and lots of great pubs, there's lots and lots of great restaurants, stand-up comedy, theaters. It's just a really, really vibrant city, and there's always something to do. So Edinburgh is also a university town. You can find numerous university campuses in the city or in the close vicinity of the city. There is, of course, the University of Edinburgh, the Heriot-Watt University, and Edinburgh is also something like a scientific hub. Also, the inventor of the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell, was born in Edinburgh. Fun fact, Dolly the sheep, the very first cloned animal, was born in Edinburgh. The thing that I really loved in Edinburgh is the Cèilidh dances. So these are traditional Irish or Scottish dances. These are kind of social gatherings. You can buy a ticket for really cheap. You go there and basically there is a band playing this traditional Scottish music, and they will teach you a couple of steps, and then you can dance together that kind of choreography or those steps, and it's really fun. Something else that I really loved about Scotland is that I found the people there really nice, but like genuinely nice, not just being polite. So for example, when I would go shopping or something, the cashier would just struck up a conversation with me, and it wasn't just, hey, how are you, and I'm like, ah, yeah, how are you, and then we go on our ways. But like, it was really a conversation, like, ah, yeah, are you planning to do anything for Halloween, are you going out, or whatever. So it's really nice. I really liked the people there, and I used to do a lot of volunteering in a charity shop that I'm going to also mention in one of these points that I really liked about Scotland. I was there, and for the first time in my life I felt like I found people who had the same taste in music, and that I could just talk and be myself and make some jokes and not really feel like an outsider that I did in a lot of occasions in Hungary back home. It's just, I feel like the people are nicer and less judgmental and more chill in general. So another thing is Scotland is of course a country that is part of the UK, but it does have its own government. And in a previous video I did talk about what I think of the UK's welfare system, right? Like, it's not the best. The poverty in the UK is growing every day, and people are just living in conditions where they can't pay their energy bills anymore, where they have to go to food banks in order to be able to get something to eat. So when I was living in Scotland, I had the impression that the welfare system was a lot better than England. So, for example, you could get the medicine that the doctor, that your GP subscribed for you at the pharmacy for free, so you didn't have to pay for it. Also for contraception, you didn't have to pay. I know that they introduced that tampons and lady products like that have to be free, which is also really great. I just had the impression that the Scottish government was a bit more focused on the welfare of its citizens than the UK government. That being said, Edinburgh is really a wealthy city. And I know for a fact that Scotland has also its poverty problem and its problem with lower income citizens. And then something else is, I remember when we lived in Edinburgh, we never had to lock the door. Like, I mean, when we were at home, we didn't lock the door at all. And it was so nice. And I was walking home at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Through the city, and I never had to be afraid of anyone attacking me or anything like that. And then some things that I really like, but these are true for the UK in its whole. I really like the charity shops because you can just go in and you could just buy a book for £1. It was so great. When I would get my salary, I would always go there and just treat myself to a book for £1, and I would read it, and then next week I would go back, and so on and so on. So I really loved that. And the charity shops, you can also buy clothes, some kind of household items as well. Also some CDs and LPs if you are into music. Last but not least, I really loved a certain district of Edinburgh. It's called Stockbridge and Dean Village. So it's a super nice neighborhood. The buildings are really nice. It's really like a family neighborhood. There are farmers markets on the weekend. There are charity shops. It's super cute. And then the Dean Village is like really a lot of nature. There is water, there are trees, there are parks. It's just super nice to walk around in. So these were my 10 things I really loved about living in Edinburgh, Scotland. Let me know what you think. If you have lived in Edinburgh, share your experience. How did you like it? If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you like my content. That really helps me out, and see you next week.